I knew last year I was an NBL player, but obviously we had a really good team, and the coaches had the rotations they wanted, and I just didn't really figure into that. So it happens to everyone at some point in their career. I was lucky enough to play 4 seasons in Europe before that without ever having encountered that, and I encountered some adversity with that last year, and it definitely gave me a bit of something to work through and a bit of fire. And I took that over to Spain when I went, took that into Frankston when I went, and I'm carrying it with me now. And yeah, I think it's something that will drive me forward. And playing them first game of the season, I want to be ready and I want to be my best self for that game, and show them they made a mistake.
Let's go, don't wait for me. Let's get it. Come on, let's go, work. Shake hands, go. Get up. Come on, get out of there. Push it down. Let's go, Jack. Good, Jack. Come on. Stay offside. Good Jack. See, come to your knees. Pass up. Yeah, pass up. That's it. Nice.
We're at Extreme Mixed Martial Arts Chadstone. We're doing a bit of an MMA session with the boys, kind of working on some grappling, some groundwork, some holding your position, and yeah, it's pretty useful for basketball in terms of that defensive stance, rebound and boxing out. It's really helpful in the post. It's all about manipulating your position and your opponent. Using your hips, your shoulders, keeping your arms out. So I think it really helps in all aspects. You're staying low, you're staying grounded, keeping your chest up. It's really hard in your core.
So you want to be strong and you want to have good penetration and good when you make contact with someone. You need to make sure in order to get that power, this has to be set up properly. If I make contact with him, he's going. Okay, if he gets in this stance and I make contact with him, he's not going anywhere. Okay, so we're breaking down just that step here, boom. So what's important is the feet are right, you've bent the knees, you've sunk into your hips.
It's a crazy kind of conditioning. It's not really like anything we've done. Running is kind of one pace straight up the whole time. This is like a full body, your core, your shoulders, your arms, like my knees are dying, my elbows are dying, it's full on. A couple of us were going with instructors. Obviously they're, pretty seasoned in this sort of thing, but, they just got all the technique down. They're kind of pinning guys, grappling guys. I was going up against one of the instructors who was probably about, maybe 40 kilos lighter than me, but a couple of times he just had me in a chokehold or had me on the ground or something, and there's nothing you do. So it's all about manipulating that position, using leverage and that. So it's useful to learn those techniques, I think. It's great. We're all suffering together. We're all fatigued. We're all dying. We're all trying to pin each other on a mat. It's probably the extreme of friendly competition, but it's great. No one's taking it personal. Everyone's working their ass off, and it's just, it's great to be a part of. Me and Gibbo are matched up for most of that, and Gibbo's just a bear, man. He's just a strong, stout guy, and he's just, he's hard to move. When he gets his feet set, he's hard to move. It's the same way on the court. He's aggressive, he's physical, and we're going to need that from him this year. It's something I bring to court as well. I think the two of us can kind of set that physical tone, and other guys can follow that behind us. It's been a grind, yeah. We had a lot of conditioning and running, but it's been, it's a standard pre-season from what you expect, but it's also been this little bit of a step up. And I think it's creating this great culture of growth. Everyone's trying to grow in every area, whether that's your athleticism, your strength, your skills on court. So they're intense days, but I think it's going to pay dividends when it comes to the season, especially that second half of the season, when we hope to be in better shape than other teams.
Stay there, hands up. Go. Yep. I got curl. You're good. I like that action. I like that action. Still wheel into that.
No secret, Ty's a guy whose game I've watched for several years now. From when he was at the Breakers to United and back at the Breakers, and I think he's someone that I can definitely learn a lot of things from. You know, we have similar skill sets. I would hope to be in the position he's in now one day, in terms of just being that complete all-around player that, you know, holds every team together he's on. So yeah, and he's a great guy. He's willing to pull you aside and teach you little things here and there. So I think it's going to be huge for me this year.
Dan Trist, smash the out of that top of the zone, will ya? You got 120 kegs of brute force, okay? I want these guards to feel that. I want you to smash. Bang! Ah! Got it.
So after I finished up with United last year, I went over to play in Spain with a team that was trying to avoid relegation. So it was sort of coming in and performing this big role and trying to, you know, glue everyone together and right the ship, so to speak. So it was really good from my personal development standpoint, in terms of just taking this massive burden on, playing a lot of minutes and having to do a lot of things that I wouldn't normally do, you know, handling the ball, you know, making plays for other people, that kind of stuff. And it gave me an opportunity to work on that skill set, which I think has carried over, you know, into NBL 1 with Frankston, into the preseason now. I feel like I'm a more complete player than I was last year. It's been this pretty intense journey this last, you know, only six months now, but it's been great, and I feel like I'm in a really good point to make an impact this year.